a story that happened over in the state of Wisconsin many, many years ago. The story didn't give the exact date, but it would have been along in the early 1800s, I'm assuming, because they were clearing and settling the state of Wisconsin when this happened. How many of you boys and girls have ever seen an eagle? Any of you? Yes, some. How many of you older boys and girls have ever seen an eagle? Oh, okay. Now you know what we're talking about. I have never seen one, so you know what I'm talking about. Even though down in my home state of Missouri, up near Wapapella Dam, there is an eagle that nests up there every year. I've seen the nest through binoculars, but I've never seen the eagle. And that eagle does fishing there on the lake along in the evening, they tell me. And it comes down, when a fish comes up, it's right there and it has its supper. I've seen animals from the air come down and pick up their dinner and supper. As a boy growing up, we raised chickens. And in southern Missouri, we have the red-tailed chicken hawk. And that's a very, very swift and fast creature. And I've seen it dive into the chicken yard and take its dinner and be gone just about as fast as you can bat an eye. The story I want to share with the boys and girls this morning revolves around an eagle that also had ways of coming down and picking up its supper or breakfast or dinner and going off back into the air. It was very good at this and had done it for many years, and this eagle was known in that area for its accomplishments. It was supposedly one of the largest that people in that area at least had ever seen. As I mentioned, it was in the early days of Wisconsin. They were clearing the land. In those days when they went to the field to work in clearing or whatever they were going to do, Father always took his rifle. It was just about as standard a piece of equipment as the hoe or whatever other piece they were going to take along with them to work that day. This particular day, the total family had gone out and they were hoeing in their new ground that had been cleared and the corn that had come up. And they had a baby that was just weeks old. And Mother had placed this little fellow on a blanket at the end of the field, the shade. And as they had been working, hoeing in the cornfield, they would look back to see how he was doing. The other children would take care of the baby. But all of a sudden, they heard a scream. And they looked back just in time to see this great eagle soar down from the air, take their little baby, and try to make his way back into the sky. Now, as a parent, and those of us that are parents, you try to picture in your mind what would run through your mind at a time like that. And you boys and girls, just try to imagine when you were just weeks old, you know, about this long, the cutest little bundle of joy that ever came to bless a home, to be picked up in the claws of one of the great birds of the air, to be taken for someone's dinner. It was an awesome sight. Father immediately ran to where his rifle was, and he picked up the rifle and he started to take an aim. But you know what Mother was thinking about? And she wondered how good a shot Father really was. And of course he wondered that himself, because he had very little time to decide what was going to happen. The load was so heavy, the eagle was not making much progress, and he had only lifted himself carrying that little baby just above the trees at the other end of that little cleared spot. And Father knew that it was now or never. And he laid the rifle across the back of the wagon box, and he took careful aim, and he fired. And a great bundle of feathers came tumbling down in the timber. It had hardly hit the ground when Mother and Father were there. And the little baby, except for some scratches from the claw of the great eagle, was not harmed. He was frightened to death, screaming bloody murder. But Mother and Father greatly rejoiced. A decision that had to be made in a moment. A shot that had to be fired precisely, or it could have meant disaster. You know, boys and girls, you and I, all of us here today, at times have to make decisions. We too have to fire shots, probably not from a rifle, but shots that have to be made precisely and at the exact moment. Satan is here to lift us and take us, capture us. Christ is here to woo us and win us. And in your life, the life that you face, the life that we live today, let's always remember to make our decisions for Christ. And when the time comes that we have to make momentarily decisions, if we have been accustomed day by day to making decisions for Christ, we'll make the right decision.